Alright, on this lesson I'm going to be reviewing isosceles triangles a little bit on here. Now, first thing that you'd want to do on this particular problem is recognize that the base is y minus 2. So that would make your base angles right here, where x is, and up here in the top corner, congruent by the isosceles triangle theorem. So one thing I'm going to do here first is I'm actually going to move x degrees right here as well. So whenever you see isosceles triangle, think to yourself that you can actually have two angles be the same here. Now I'm going to set up the degrees that x plus 60 would need to add to 180 degrees by the triangle angle sum theorem. That was the three angles of the triangle. Combine like terms, so 2x plus 60. And then subtract 60 from both sides. You'd have 2x equal to 120. And then when I divide by 2, I'll get x equal to 60. Now, as far as the y goes, because now I know that both these angles are 60 degrees and that all three angles are 60 degrees, this is actually an equilateral triangle that all three sides would be equal. So I could write y minus 2 over here and down here on the bottom. Now I can add those three sides together and equal them to 52 because that was my perimeter. Now please remember that sides usually do not add to 180 like angles do, only if the perimeter was 180. But on this problem, it said the perimeter was 52, so that's what you're going to use. Now I'll combine like terms. That y plus y would be 3y, and negative 2 plus negative 2 plus negative 2 would be minus 6. I'll add 6 to both sides. So 3y will equal 58, and I'll divide by 3. So y will equal 58 thirds. And that actually is reduced, and that's a good answer right there as an improper fraction. Other ways you could have that written is 19.3 repeating, or you could have it written as 19 1/3 if you'd rather do it as a mixed number. But these are my two final answers for this problem. Alright, well, number 2, we're still finding the values of the variables. Again, I have an isosceles triangle. Had a lot of people in class thinking that just because this looks like a right angle, it was going to be 90 degrees. You still need to do the math to make sure about that. Now, since this is 45 degrees up here, that's actually one of my base angles. See how it's connected to the base of the isosceles triangle? This is the non-congruent side. And so this down here would also be 45 degrees. So much less like the last problem, I moved one of the angles to where else it would be. Now I'll add the three angles up to 180 degrees. So in this case, x plus 45 plus 45 equals 180 degrees. Now I'll combine like terms. So x will be plus 90 when I add 45 plus 45 together. And I'll subtract 90 from both sides to get my final answer here. For this problem, x equals 90 degrees. Now it did end up being, in fact, a right angle, but it could be off by like just a single tenth of a degree and not be 90. So you need to actually do the math, make sure that's what it looks like. Alright, this one is our last example. Again, got an isosceles triangle that I'm going to identify in here. And what I'm going to do with that is know that this is one of my base angles, this is my other base angle, since this is the base of the isosceles triangle, the non-congruent side. So I'm going to go ahead and write x degrees in over here on this acute angle. Now, next thing I'd personally do is actually go up here and recognize that 100 degrees is an exterior angle, so x plus x would equal 100. Now, if you don't recognize that, what most of my students will end up doing is actually finding this angle by subtracting 100 off of 180 degrees from this line right here. And so that's going to be 80 degrees in this top corner. Now they'll usually add x plus 80 to 180. And now it'll be 2x plus 80 equals 180 degrees. And I'm going to subtract the 80 from both sides to get 2x equal to 100 and divide by 2 to get x equal to 50. Now, as far as what I'm looking at there, I'm going to point out this, that 2x equals 100 is the setup I would have had by using the 100 degrees as an exterior angle. If that makes sense to you, you can actually start right there and then just divide both sides by 2 and get your answer from there. Anyways, this is one of my two answers. I still need to find y. What I usually like to do is that when I find a value is just go ahead and pencil it in place of x. So go ahead and get that located there and there. Erase a little bit of my triangle. Now, what I could do is I could set up y one of two ways. I could do y plus 50 degrees plus 90 degrees equals 180. And that's what I'm going to do. And that is from the large triangle. So y plus 50 plus 90 equals 180. The other setup you could have done is y plus 100 plus this ends up being 40 when I take 50 off of 90. That ends up being 40. So if you do y plus 100 plus 40 equals 180, you're going to get the correct answer as well. So y plus 140 on the way I set it up after I combine 50 and 90 together, and subtract 140 from both sides, and y will equal 40 degrees. And that's the problem. Let me know what questions you have. Thanks.